From Neural Newscast, this is Deep Dive, exploring the moments that shape today.
I am Elise Moreau.
And I'm Thomas Keane. Welcome to Deep Dive.
April 11th is a date that holds a mirror to the darkest and most triumphant aspects of our shared history. Today, we look at a moment of liberation that changed our understanding of the world, 3 lives that broke through social and artistic barriers, and a quiet revolution in naval engineering.
It's a day that truly spans the spectrum of human experience, from the depths of the ocean to the heights of moral courage.
We begin in 1945, in the final weeks of the Second World War. On April 11, the American Third Army arrived at the gates of Buchenwald, one of the largest and most notorious concentration camps on German soil. It was established in 1937 near Weimar, and while it wasn't a designated death camp like Auschwitz, the reality there was no less horrific.
That's an important distinction, Elise. Even without gas chambers, the loss of life was staggering. Over 56,000 people were murdered there. They died from disease, malnutrition, medical experiments, and the brutal conditions of slave labor. When the Americans arrived, they found thousands of emaciated survivors who had somehow endured the unimaginable.
One of the most remarkable parts of this story is the internal resistance. As the Americans closed in, the Gestapo tried to organize a final liquidation, even calling the camp to say they were sending explosives to destroy all evidence and the people who were incarcerated. But a prisoner actually intercepted the call, claiming the camp had already been blown up. That quick thinking saved countless lives.
It truly did, and by the time the 6th Armored Division reached the perimeter, the people who were incarcerated had actually stormed the watchtowers and taken control themselves. Among those saved that day was a young Elie Wiesel, who would later dedicate his life to bearing witness as a Nobel Peace Prize-winning author.
The camp was also home to some of the most infamous figures of the era, like Ilse Koch, known for her unspeakable sadism. Seeing the physical evidence of what happened at Buchenwald forced a global reckoning with the Holocaust that continues to this day.
While that day in 1945 was about the restoration of justice on a global scale, April 11th also marks the birth of several individuals who pursued justice and excellence in their own unique ways.
Starting with a true pioneer in the American legal system. Jane Bolin was born on this day in 1908. She was a woman of many firsts, the first Black woman to graduate from Yale Law School, and the first to join the New York City Bar Association.
Her career was extraordinary, Elise. In 1939, Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia appointed her to the Domestic Relations Court, making her the first Black woman judge in the United States. She served on that bench for 40 years. Focusing on ending race-based assignments for probation officers and ensuring children's services were provided regardless of their background.
That dedication to institutional reform is such a powerful legacy. And speaking of powerful legacies in different fields, we also celebrate the birthday of Joel Grey, born in 1932. He's one of those rare performers who defines a role so completely that it becomes inseparable from them.
You're thinking of the Master of Ceremonies in Cabaret, I assume? He won the Tony for the Broadway production and then the Oscar for the film. His performance brought a very specific, haunting aesthetic to the exploration of pre-war Germany.
Exactly. His career has spanned decades through photography and directing as well. He has this refined, observant curiosity that brings so much depth to everything he touches. And on the musical front, we also have Joss Stone, born in 1887.
Stone made a huge impact at a very young age. Her debut, The Soul Sessions, showcased this incredibly powerful, raspy voice that sounded far beyond her years. She's gone on to release platinum albums and even collaborate with legends like Mick Jagger.
It's fascinating to see how these 3 people, born in such different eras, all use their voices, whether in a courtroom, on a stage, or through a microphone, to command attention and demand a standard of excellence.
While we're discussing breakthroughs, we should shift our focus from the human voice to a very different kind of innovation that happened beneath the waves.
You're talking about the silent service, aren't you, Thomas?
I am. On April 11, 1900, the United States Navy officially purchased its first modern submarine, the Holland 6, from the Electric Boat Company for $150,000. It was later renamed the United States S. Holland.
Designed by John Philip Holland, right? It was only about 53 feet long. From a design perspective, it's quite elegant in its simplicity, though I imagine the interior was anything but comfortable.
Definitely not comfortable, but it was a marvel of engineering. It featured a gasoline engine for cruising on the surface and an electric motor for underwater propulsion. That dual system became the blueprint for submarines for decades. This acquisition was so pivotal that April 11th is now celebrated as National Submarine Day.
It's a reminder that today isn't just about looking back at the tragedies of the past, but also celebrating the moments when we reached for something new, whether in law, art, or technology.
From the liberation of Buchenwald to the birth of a submarine fleet, April 11th shows us that history is often a story of courage and the constant drive to move forward. I'm Thomas Keene.
And I am Elise Murrow. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Deep Dive is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. Explore history every day on Neural Newscast. Discover more at deepdive.neuralnewscast.com.
This has been Deep Dive on Neural Newscast, exploring the moments that shape today.